Everybody, today we'll be checking out Fairy Queen Vesa and how to build her. So let's start with the gear as always. This is 1-3 split where you use in PvE modes against bosses basically. It is Broken Spaces, Star Expedition. Of course this is if you are using her as a main damage dealer, so with like an Antler's Cane. If you are just using her as a support, you don't want split gear of course, you just want full resonance gear, which is the next one here. So with full resonance, you have the most speed, of course. You are also tanky, missing a little bit of damage, but that is okay, because most of the time Vesa is not gonna be the main homeowner. She is there to support your heroes. So in all these modes, Void Vortex, Realms Gate, Void Campaign, PvP, Purgatory Tower, and Sealand, you'll be using her with full gear. And after that, we have the Stone. So we have three different stone choices here. First one is crit damage. This is where you just want her to maximize damage, mostly Broken Spaces and Star Expedition. It can also be used in Sealand, but you know you have to meet a certain amount of speed requirement before changing your stone to crit stone, because while missing 115 speed, otherwise, you won't be able to do any damage to the boss. So as long as you outspeed the boss, you can use crit stone. Otherwise, just go with the other stones. Next up, we have the speed crit stone. This is what I use to clear Seal Land 25 myself. And it is pretty good for, I mean, there is two different ways to clear Seal Land Forest. One of them is bursting the enemies down in the first few rounds. This is where you use Rogan's and Melodic Strings Vesa. Otherwise, you'll be using Shahos and kinda defensive setup with Antler's Cane. So you know the fight takes long and you kill them before 15 rounds basically. The more important thing there is to able to survive your team to the later rounds. So yeah, that is why I use speed crit because of that, because I needed the Rogan setup. I used Rogan setup, so I needed to crit stone to be able to finish the fight fast. For the other cases, you want the speed attack stone, of course. This is this is the best stone on Vesa basically because you have the speed, you have the attack. Attack is very good on Vesa. She heals based on her attack stat, and that is very good to have as much attack as you can. So anywhere basically you can use speed attack stone. As you can see, there's like 8 modes there. I'm not gonna read them again, so you can use it anywhere basically. Next up we have the artifacts for Vesa. So of course, as long as you survive 15 rounds and she is your main damage dealer, you want to be using Atlas Cane. This is again Broken Spaces, Star Expedition, and sometimes Seed Land. So in that case where you are using Shaho team with tanky team and you can survive a lot of rounds, you can use Antler's Cane. Otherwise, there is a Demon Bell. Now she is a support, so she can use many artifacts basically. But Demon Bell is a very good support item. It also gives attack and HP as stats, very good for Vesa. And you can use it as support in Broken Space, Void Vortex, Realms Gate, Void Campaign, PvP, Tower, Sealand. This is Sealand is an interesting one here. I didn't use it myself, but I saw some people clear Sealand with Demon Bell, which is helping for round 1 survival, I think. Because you know you try to go first before the boss. And if you have a Demon Bell, you can use an active to shield all the allies. And that might help your team to survive the first few rounds, which is all you need in for Sealand. So it works, I guess. I didn't test it myself, but I see people pass it. And then the next artifact we have is AMB. Now AMB is probably like it has the best use on Vesa because she cannot get critted. I mean she can I think, but you know it is like a 80% decrease chance or something, I believe. I'm not sure on that. So basically you never get hit by crit, and if you just use a damage reduction imprint with AMB, you are basically taking no damage, especially if she is a homeowner. So that is something to consider. So In Ramsgate, Void Campaign, PvP, Purgatory, and Tower. If she is a homeowner, this is better, but it will still work even if it is not. You can use it on Vesa. And then we have more artifacts here. So, Golden Crown is basically useful on any hero. It is always good to have. She can use it in Ramsgate, Void Campaign, PvP, and Tower. Since she's a support, she isn't doing much damage, so you might want her to tank a bit, and Golden Crown is very good for it. And then next up we have Snowheart. Now Snowheart is an item where you can use on your heroes if you cannot outspeed the enemies, which is in Void Campaign, PvP, or Tower. Of course, Vesa active skill is a very good skill. It shields and heals your team. So using your active round 1 with Snowheart is very good to have. And that is why she is a good Snowheart holder. And then we have the Melodic Strings at last, which is useful in Aspen Dungeon Purgatory. You can also use AMB, but I believe people are missing out on a lot of damage by not using Melodic Strings. So if you think you do no damage to the enemies, you can try Melodic Strings. If you have a lot of attack and think you are just dying instead of not killing them in time, you can use AMB in that case. And then for Sealand, if you are using Rogan team, trying to burst it down, or even Xiaoho team, you can still use Melodic Strings, I believe. If you can kill it in like first 5-6 rounds, I believe. If if you cannot, you want to switch to Antlers. Next up, we have the enables. Now this is pretty basic. Offensive setup 2-2-4-2-2. You can use it wherever you just want a little bit more damage. Then we have the tank build. This is like useful everywhere as well. You can just tank it up. Since she doesn't get hit by crits, you can use the healing enabled for the second one. And the rest is just tanky. Then we have the speed enables. Of course, this is what you use most of the time because nowadays everything requires speed, so you can also switch this one to healing, like this in the tank. And the attribute reduction, mark purify, control purify, whichever you need in that situation, you can change it around. Next time we have the imprints. So there is two kinds of imprints you can run on Vesa. One of them is crit damage reduction. This is where she is your main homeowner, so she is doing a lot of damage. You want to be running this setup. You can even drop damage reduction for holy damage if you think she survives fine. Otherwise, if she's just a support, a Snow Heart holder, Demon Bell holder, whatever, in that case you can run damage reduction, control immunity, and block. This is again just full tank build, pretty good to have on your support heroes. And of course, there are other situations where you might want precision, armor break. For example, in Star Expedition boss, you definitely want armor break on Vesa if she is your main damage dealer. And yeah, you can play around with this all you want. And then we have the Tree of Origin. Now Vesa's active skill only increases by like 10, not even 10%, I believe. Is it 10%? Oh, I think it is like 12%. So her damage increases by 12% with the active and basic skills. And then she also does like 20% more healing, I believe. And this is not really that good, compared to some other upgrades she has here. So that is why I put the X on the active and basic. And then some of the active upgrades are very good. The rest is just on the last passive, to be honest, so you don't want to use points by then. A basic tree is very bad here. And this is what I recommend for you to do. So starting 1, 2, 3, 4, going to max your active skill. And then you want to just unlock the third skill here, which is the first passive, I believe. And then you want to go for the last passive, the second passive, and max it out. And then when you are at 9 here, at the ninth one, right there, I don't think you want to increase it anymore. You can just leave it like this, and it will be good to go. Because, again, basic attack is very useless. And the first passives upgrades are not that good. Like you can see here, this one is good, but the other two are just pretty bad. So if you want to use Homeowner Vesa, or if you are done with your other heroes trees, you can do up to 9 points here, and that is all you need. So yeah, that's all I got for the Fairy Queen Vesa. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.